Well, it's not a lie. We are having a show. No, seriously. And it's coming up next.
Buy it, use it, break it, fix it, trash it, change it, mail, upgrade it, charge it, point it, zoom it, press it, snap it, work it, quick erase. Paste it, save it, load it, check it, quick rewrite it, plug it, play it, burn it, rip it, drag it, drop it, zip, unzip it, lock it, fill it, call it, find it, view it, code it, jam, unlock it, surf it, scroll it, pause it, click it, cross it, crack it, switch, update it, name it, read it, tune it, print it, scan it, send it, fax, rename it, touch it, bring it, pay it, watch it, turn it, leave it, start, format it, technologic.
Live from studios in Self Hall on the beautiful campus of Jacksonville State University, it's the Hey Techies Show. Now, here are your hosts in chairs that should have been thrown out years ago, Michael, Bruce, and the Guru.
Well, I'm telling you, it was a dirty, nasty lie, a totally dirty, nasty lie that we will not be back. I mean, I know it's been spreading, and the rumors have been growing, and who could blame them? I mean, October 26th. Now, you thought today was a day would live in infamy, but we haven't been on since October 26th, and now we get to come back on December 7th. And I don't know. By the way, this is the Hey Techie Show, if you don't know. If you have never heard of the show, and I normally don't sound like this.
He normally does not.
But that's what happens when you're sick. You sound like you really shouldn't be on the radio.
Then why are you on the radio?
That's a good question, Guru.
Because it's been so long since he's been on the radio.
It's been so long.
And, man, I have missed this for sure.
Yes. Well, look, welcome to the Hey
Our
Techie
listen.
Show. Yes. And I am joined here tonight, as usual, with Bruce. How are you, Bruce?
Wonderful, as always.
And Bruce sounds so good. And the Guru.
Hey, good evening.
And the Guru sounds very good.
Well, you sound very good, too.
No,
you got that deep tone.
I'm going to be struggling. I promise. It's a struggle. But anyway, very like Bruce said, very glad to be back on the air. We've had a lot of out weeks. There was a week there that was Thanksgiving. There was a week that we couldn't, any of us, make it because none of us could be here. And then we've had to deal with, of course, sporting events, which we've been battling on Thursday.
Oh,
Thursday
Bruce.
night.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Gamecocks did not pull out the victory on this past Saturday.
Yeah,
and,
man.
therefore, exited early of the playoffs.
I was actually in Kennesaw.
Well,
oh wow!
And at Chuck E. Cheese.
Really?
Yeah.
Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, but I was watching on the phone just to see, and I was upset and was.
So I've got a story about Kennesaw. So with my day job, I have a colleague that I've met at collaborating with some different things at Kennesaw State, and they actually came. You know, it didn't click with me that they were from that school until Monday morning. I got an email from that person. I was like, "Why are they emailing me for?" Because it's been several months since I've talked to them.
They said we won.
No, they said because, and I remember when we were talking, I told them about our marching band, the Marching Southerners, and how great they were. And I said, "Have you ever heard of them?" No, I had never heard of them. So go YouTube them, go search them on YouTube, and you'll see why.
Yeah.
So, well, I got an email from that person that I was on your campus Saturday for the football game, and let me just tell you, I know why you're bragging about your marching band. They are so amazing.
Yeah.
So I replied back, so appreciate the kind words, and congratulations on the win. I'm glad you had a good visit to our campus, and I forwarded that message she sent over to Dr. Bodiford. And he was very appreciative of the kind words.
I will say this, and I'm not talking about the football team as of late, because we've had very good football teams lately in the past few years. But historically, the reason why there was turnouts to the games was to support the band.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
There's no doubt there's definitely a draw of folks to come out to see the Southerners.
But I think that's leveling out.
Yeah, I agree.
Our football program has gotten so much better over the years.
Hey, but we were OVC champs again, like 4th year in a row.
Yes. So. Actually won all they won every game in the OVC. they played.
Yeah,
Like they've only lost in
we lost
in
postseason.
postseason.
We lost postseason. We lost to Georgia Tech this year.
Yeah, right.
That was kind of a non-conference game.
So great job,
yeah.
guys, to a wonderful year.
Yes,
and I will say
congratulations.
gals too, because I know there's probably physical therapists that
Oh yeah.
they're just as much responsible as helping them out and get.
Well, they have it takes a village of support staff
It does.
for any kind of
So-
operation.
So not just the team, but
yeah, absolutely.
staff involved with it too.
Guru, you're gonna fix this before the end of the show.
Yeah, I'll have it fixed within the show. It's fixed
Your
now.
voice. Or
No,
his-
won't be
his-
fixing my voice.
Yeah, I will. I will fix Michael's voice for the end of the show as well.
Nah.
Want some whiskey?
Yeah,
Uh,
that's that old remedy. Yeah, something's up with this mic.
It sounds fine to me.
It sounded too low. Now it's good.
No, I think
I think your ears are stopped up.
It's been 6 weeks, so we're getting all the
my ears are stopped
dust
up some, but actually it's my voice that's
wiped
the worst
away.
thing.
And
Yeah.
I might have to try to talk. I told Bruce, I said, yeah, I'm going to talk low, and he said, what? I said, yeah, yeah, that's right.
Low.
I may have to.
I'm just glad that you're not going to be able to argue with me about
Oh
it.
no, not that much.
I'll make up for his.
No, you
lack
won't.
Of,
No, you won't.
No, you won't.
You'll
No,
be
I
along
won't.
with him.
Exactly. He'll make up
Yeah,
for it.
That's
We'll
okay.
just
No big deal.
double team.
Yeah.
So, man, what about the snow that's possibly coming?
Well,
Snowpocalypse
we got
2017, but it's
What is-
real.
What is our original first guest say about the possibility of snow? James Spann.
Yeah, he. As far as I can tell from what I was gathering,
He went and bought snow milk and bread stock.
No, he did.
Yeah.
From what I can tell, it sounds like to me that it's going to be a lawn event, like on the grass.
Yeah. For just before everybody wakes up. That's what somebody said to me.
I don't
It's
know
supposed to
the
be during the
time.
day.
It could be
Tomorrow.
during the day.
Somebody said to me today, they were like, "Well, it's gonna be happening before anybody gets up," and I was like, "Who are you talking about?" They're like, "That's right, I forget you get up
And,
at 3:30 every morning."
That's fine.
So-
and here's the thing: when I was young, we had the snow events for whatever amount of accumulation. It always happened at night. So you'd wake up in the morning like, "There's
gone.
snow on the ground." It never happened during the day,
yeah,
ever,
I don't
until I was an
until
adult.
'93
yeah, that was all day, and the next day,
and the next week.
and the next week. Yeah,
Yeah.
Man,
Okay.
we're overdue for one of those.
we're gonna have to go to break so Guru can fix this microphone.
Well, I can't fix it unless I can.
Well, it's
talk
been
while I'm doing
6
it,
weeks.
you
Well,
know.
it's fixed. I mean, I don't know
It's
what the
not. It's
problem
not
is.
fixed.
It's
It's
been
perfect.
6 weeks. We missed this, so stay with us.
No, we're not going to break.
Oh,
yet.
we're not.
Oh.
I thought you were gonna let him.
He
Fix it.
can't fix it in
Yeah.
break.
Yeah.
I was just joking.
So one story that we were talking about in the green room while Guru was in here setting everything up, and it has to do with snow. But we did not think about this until it was mentioned outside.
What?
Snow encrusted LED stoplights.
Oh, yeah.
create havoc because they're not able to heat up enough
Yeah.
to melt the snow.
Well, hey, the ones here in Jacksonville are LED
Man,
lights.
Yeah,
they
but I
need
don't-
to fix one of those. It bothers me. The one right there in front of like Subway, McDonald's,
Really? What's wrong with it?
Walgreens. Do you don't see?
Oh,
it?
that's on
What-
purpose.
Why is it on purpose?
So that you don't. That's not your light. That light is for that next lineup. I know about this. That light is only for the next lineup right there at McDonald's. You're not supposed to. That was done on purpose.
Well,
You're not
everybody
sup-
always knew that.
Well,
I'm not
I-
paying attention at that light.
my understanding was that was done on purpose so that you wouldn't see it at the like you could see both of them and that you wouldn't be confused that the light before is your light. If you're going to
I
turn out,
understand the logic in that, but man, it scares me every time I go through because I don't see if it's green or red. Which,
It
if
is
it's
a-
green in
it
the
i-
one I just went through, it should be green.
it is a problem. I do agree,
but it's like
I thought it odd myself, but
I can understand that logic.
Well, that was the logic, from my understanding.
I can understand that. But if I'm from out of town,
Yeah, it's confusing.
you come up on it and you're
Yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah.
is this green or red? Is it on or off? And then you're like, oh, I see it now.
Right.
But I guess the thing is, it shouldn't be another color.
You know what? It's a really
Then
Should
what
be,
the one-
it should be blue and
Well,
purple.
The whole intersection's been a bad intersection forever. That's terrible.
But I mean, they can't
No, I know.
redo.
I know.
anything.
I agree with you, but it's a terrible. Well, hey, if you want to
Close
be
off McDonald's.
if you want to be on the Hey Techies show,
that entrance right there and make it only on the other side.
256-782,
5600,
and you can be on the Hey Techies show, and as well HeyTechiesShow.com, and you can find everything there, even the last episode back on October 26th.
Our email address,
Questions
our
at
tweeters,
HeyTechiesShow.com.
Yeah,
our book faces.
We actually still have that stuff.
Our
It's
Instagrams.
It's not dead.
Our Snapchats.
I know it's surprising.
We don't have Snapchat. Bruce
our
monitors
Yik Yak.
Snapchat.
I don't think Yik Yak
Yeah,
exists
yeah.
anymore.
You still, man. You still on it.
No.
What other social meds are
That's
there?
it. I'm not.
Smoke signals.
Oh, speaking of
Smoke
that,
signals. Yeah, we'll go step outside.
speaking of social networks, now that you brought that up, we'll go to break. We'll go to break.
Stay tuned.
I'll pull
for
that
what
up
it-
and we'll talk
whatever
about
it
it.
was. And Guru's gonna get his mic fixed.
Oh, it's fixed now. I'm good.
Oh, yeah, he's
we only
perfect.
took 10 minutes to fix it, but we're good.
Hey, Techie Show. Be right back.
We're just getting started. Plenty more Hey Techies Show for your listening pleasure.
Welcome back into the Hey Techie Show. So glad to have everybody with us tonight that has stuck it out. We appreciate it. I know if you had to be out and about tonight, you would be rather cold. So, and some people do, like us. But actually, we're not really cold in this room. Actually,
Speak for yourself. I've got the air blowing.
I'm
right on
kind
me.
of getting warm, but that's probably just me in
He's
general.
sick.
Well, no, I'm better. I just
Do you want an
sound- I just sound
Alka-Seltzer?
sick.
I've got
No,
one.
I just sound
I think you
sick.
need some special cough medicine. It's like the
Yeah.
lemon juice and whiskey.
No.
A hot toddy.
No. Apparently, Instagram has implemented a system that will trigger a notification informing people of the possible animal abuse that they have going on in their pictures if they have wildlife in their photos.
What?
Do what?
Yes.
What do you?
It will deliver a pop-up message whenever someone searches or clicks on a hashtag like sloth selfie. You are searching for a hashtag that may be associated with a post that encourages harmful behavior to animals or environment.
And they can tell that from a picture in a hashtag or a post?
Like, for instance, it shows this picture of a man with some monkeys and the monkey on his head, and apparently that somehow is endangering the monkeys in some way.
But like you go to like down in the Caribbean, like you can do that like
Hey, look, I'm just
supervised excursion type deal
Well,
stuff.
apparently-
I'm gonna go to a zoo and just take a bunch of
yeah.
pictures there.
What if you what if you went to
hashtag
the, what,
sloth selfie?
what if you went to the zoo and like they were in the cage behind you in the fence and you just did like a selfie with them?
They're probably gonna filter that and say,
We care
See-
about. Here's a statement.
really, folks.
We care about our community, including the animals and the wildlife that are
And-
an important part of the platform.
Right, and I agree that you should, don't
Yeah, I don't
use
agree.
animals.
I don't
That's-
agree.
Respect
So-
them, but how can they tell from the picture, like in some sort of automated thing?
I can guess how all of this came about.
Yeah, I can too.
No, probably there was a corporate meeting and they needed ideas of how can we have more community involvement or social engagement, and how can we use technology to solve that? And somebody pitched this idea,
Okay.
and they're like, "Well, that's good, perfect."
I'm gonna tell
Let's
you
do
where
it.
they explain where this
Oh.
really is the bomb.com for them.
Okay,
Thebomb.com.
This is it right here.
So-
I promise
okay.
you. In many cases, animals hugged and cuddled in selfies have been illegally taken from the wild and kept in captivity in deplorable conditions.
Okay, I can understand that because there are a lot of cases of that.
Other animals,
He's going through
it's
puberty.
bad, I know, that are popular for selfies are like lion, tiger cubs.
Yeah.
By the way, in case you did not know this, apparently they are speed bred. No. In captivity and weaned from their mothers much too early.
Wasn't there like a lion or a tiger or something in Atlanta recently that escaped from
Oh my!
one of its owners? Yeah, from one of its owners' homes or
Seems
something that was
familiar.
illegally.
Well,
kept.
don't let it get on Instagram
Yeah,
They'll tag it,
because they can
flag
tag
it.
flag it.
I feel like that happened over the past 6 months. I could be wrong.
Well, this is a much longer article than I'm going to read, but just FYI, if you have wild animals or if you have, say you're using a hashtag sloth selfie, you're probably going to get a pop up on Instagram.
Man. So
well-
just the hashtag, or I thought they looked at the content of the
yeah,
photo.
that too, but
Okay.
yeah, but if you search for that, you could be adding to the demoralization of sloths everywhere.
So we'll take a selfie right now and put that hashtag on there.
Hashtag sloth selfie.
Yeah, we'll take one of this.
Can you imagine how many hashtag now? How that hashtag is really probably taken off? I mean, everybody's probably.
This
doing
is
it.
what Instagram.
Yeah,
What if you can search Instagram without logging in?
probably.
Let's see.
Just create a throwaway.
Yeah.
It takes too much time. I can't do that on the fly. Why don't you work on that, Bruce?
I probably have a throwaway. Not for Instagram, but I have throwaway email that we could use for
Yeah.
for that. which speaking of which,
Joe Q
social media, and I'm guessing Jacksonville has probably postponed schools.
Yes, I saw that.
But
just
did you
got-
see where Facebook is what they're going to start
Oh.
doing with new accounts and with current accounts? Is that occasionally you have to provide they're testing it out right now in certain markets. You're going to have to provide a picture, and it's usually one like at that point in time.
You have to take a selfie.
Yeah, you basically have to take a selfie for to authenticate your account.
So, not to change this, but I want to get back to that in a minute. But
Okay.
I went to Instagram. I searched for hashtag sloth selfie. Selfie. I can't even talk to that. And it comes up, says protect wildlife on
Selfie.
Instagram.
See, I told you.
Animal abuse and the sale of endangered animals is or their parts is not allowed on Instagram. You are searching for a hashtag that may be associated with posts that encourage harmful behavior to animals or the environment. And it says learn more, and then you can show, post, or cancel.
Oh man, I gotta go and try some stuff.
But back to what you're saying, I saw that on news the other day about you have to take a selfie of yourself to kind of, and I think right now they're using it just for if your account has been flagged as a potential like throwaway account, like you just are creating accounts just to create them. just
Yeah.
to try to do nefarious things, and it's not legitimately Bruce's Facebook page or Facebook account, then that's what they want you to kind of make sure you're.
It'll never be Bruce's Facebook account or Facebook anything or
I'm just using that as an example.
Do I have to
butt face maybe, but not.
when I search? Do I have to put a hashtag first?
Yes.
Yes.
It's called hashtag for a
Hashtag
reason.
for a reason.
Pound symbol, shift 3.
Yeah. Pound symbol.
So he's learning about hashtags tonight on Hey Techies. Bruce's.
Don't
We're
do
teaching
Instagram.
Bruce.
Yeah, he's not.
Well, huh?
This is great radio.
I'm not gonna say what I searched, but that didn't come up.
Well, thanks for saving us on that. So
And I would think that would
so eventually, I guess we're trying to.
whatever.
The idea is that you'll have to take a selfie to authenticate your Facebook account.
Yeah,
Possibly.
possibly.
Well, see, that's not going to work. For
Hashtag
me.
selfie.
It's not gonna work for me either. I don't have Facebook.
Well, I don't have Facebook app on my phone. I'm not. I don't want it.
They'll just lock you
Oh
out.
yeah, I bet you would have to have the app.
Yeah.
Either that or you'd have to
It's not
upload.
happening.
I'm sure you could upload locally a recent picture.
Nah, why
That'd
would
be a
you
lot
want
of-
to?
Why would you want to have Facebook?
Well, there,
Yeah,
there are
really.
some reasons.
Well, I
Why?
kind of
Well, there are
Give
some
me
reasons.
one good one.
the Hey Techies Facebook page.
You can reach us through other avenues.
Well, we have to maintain that for our listeners, Bruce,
Well,
because you
yeah.
don't. Somebody has to.
Yeah.
It's all right.
The show's not enough. The YouTube channel's not enough. The email's not enough.
Speaking of YouTube,
Speaking of YouTube,
they're in their own little battle.
Yeah,
as well.
I don't understand this. This is hurting
No, this
both
is
Amazon
bizarre.
and Google. To
It is
me.
bizarre.
And we weren't clear before the show, and we think we've got it figured out that it's Google doing this and not Amazon.
Well, actually, yes.
Or
The
is it-
latest thing is
Yeah,
definitely Google
yeah.
doing this.
Or is it just mutual destruction?
I think it's mutual destruction. I think we'd have to back up here and punt on this if you want to understand the backstory. There's a little bit
There's
of
too much fake news,
well, that's true.
so we can't tell you exactly
well,
who's at fault
right,
here.
but
yeah, Trump even agrees with us.
apparently back from
first.
a 2015 episode, Amazon pulled, pardon me, the Comcast and Nexus players from the online store to boost the sales of then the Fire TV, according to an article. Well, apparently earlier this year, Google, and I think we even talked about this on the show, blocked YouTube from working on Echo Show, and then later they restored it functionality. Well, apparently it's happened again. Google has basically told Amazon, "Hey, you can't have YouTube on your products. You can't have YouTube on the Echo. Let's see, the show, and I guess some of the other products too.
The show is a product, by the way. If,
I know the Echo Show is a product.
no, I'm telling our listeners.
Oh yeah, the Echo Show is a product
Yeah.
where you basically can see yourself. Video calling is one of the features.
What show is YouTube not allowed on?
What show is not on now?
Just so confused.
That is true. The Echo Show, if you don't know, is a product that Amazon sells.
I thought that
in
was
the-
like Hey Techies show, Amazon
No.
Echo show.
No, in the line of the Echo and the Dot. And
So
the
I'll
show.
never own those things. I don't want it listening to me all the time.
I agree. Even though I have them, I
Pardon me.
have to brave that.
Well, apparently Amazon has had a
I thought you had
statement.
them unplugged.
This was the
Maybe.
5th. Amazon has had a statement. Echo Show and Fire TV now display a standard web view of YouTube.com and point customers directly to YouTube's existing website. Google is setting a disappointing precedent by selectively blocking customers access to an open website. We hope to resolve this with Google as soon as possible. Well, I'm sure,
So Google is blocking.
yes. As of it is right
Well,
now.
if Google's blocking you, good luck. You like shut down.
Well,
I mean, not literally, but you know.
actually, the way I thought I understood it on the news this morning, it was not that. But either it wasn't reported correctly or I
Yeah.
misunderstood it. But apparently this has been an ongoing battle between them
yeah, but there's-
over the years.
Yeah, and one thing I've noticed too, like Walmart, and Amazon are battling for customers. Well, Walmart's teamed up with Google,
Yeah.
with certain things like all their
Oh yeah.
fancy Echo whatever that thing. That's not Echo. Whatever.
Well, no, that's Amazon.
Whichever one Google's got. What's it called? Whatever that thing.
The Home.
Yeah.
Google Home.
Yeah, they've teamed up with Walmart on that. Like you can tell it to order your Walmart
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, and speaking of teaming up, you've probably seen this. Dish Network customers, if you have the Hopper, you can talk to your Echo, or rather your, I guess the Dot. I assume if it was plugged up, or what's the big one? I know what Alexa.
Alexa.
What's that one called? The big one, not
The new one?
no, the big one, not
The Echo.
it is called the Echo,
Yeah.
and then it's the Dot. I had it right.
The Dot, yeah.
The Echo, the Dot, and
I
then
think
there's
they
some
have
other
the
things.
Echo Pro now,
Okay.
which is
Well-
going to be your
What I was going to say is
IoT center.
right, Internet of Things. Yeah. What I was saying
Hub.
is that the Hopper,
The HAPA,
yeah, you can ask it to pull up a show through the Amazon.
instead of just using your remote.
Well, some people can't see.
Yeah.
I
That's
have
a
a
good
friend.
point. No, that's
He's looking
that's
into
fair.
it because he can't see any. He can't read anything.
Yeah,
He can't look through a TV guide and say, "Oh, I want to watch this."
that's a good point.
Yeah, it is.
So anyway,
Okay, fair point there. That's a good example of how that's helpful.
yeah. So
Still waiting to hear for one for Facebook.
oh, I don't have anything that would be help considering the point of that, other than I guess,
Of course, people are selling.
is that
stuff on
more
Facebook
secure?
now.
I don't know whether that's more secure. I mean, I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
know.
So instead of having all your futures in milk
Yes.
and
And
bread,
bread, yeah.
do you happen to have them in Bitcoin?
Good grief, I know.
And do you happen to also be a gamer who likes to use your Bitcoin on Steam? Well, not any longer. Steam no longer
really?
accepts
Uh-oh.
Bitcoin
Wow.
because it's so volatile. So
yes, makes sense.
yes, so Bitcoin's own success may be its downfall.
Yeah. They're talking about it could hit 20,000.
That's insane.
It is. I
But
think it's like at 13.
that is very like if Steam just took the first step, because everybody's kind of like, I don't like, I can't it's gonna be 20,000, but it may be $2
Yeah.
tomorrow,
Yeah.
and that means I just sold that game for
Right.
a tenth of a cent.
Right. That's a
Um,
pro. I mean, that
I
is
didn't
a
realize
big
how much
problem.
how much Bitcoin had gone up in value.
Oh, yeah.
man,
It's
recently
through the
One-
roof.
surging.
One Bitcoin currently is equal to $17,496 US dollars.
It's nuts.
That
It's
is
crazy.
Now I can see as long as ransomware continues
Yeah.
to be a threat, a viable threat. Now, if it gets to where it's not as predominant, like it doesn't occur as much as it used to. If it gets to where it's almost never happening again, Bitcoin value is probably going to go down, because I think you have a lot of companies that are holding on to it just in case they need to make a payment.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
And
But
it's getting harder and harder and more expensive to mine for a Bitcoin.
yeah,
But if companies, I guess that's the thing. If companies stop accepting it because it is so volatile, and the only people who are accepting it are criminals,
Yeah, it just kind of doesn't make sense
it
anymore.
starts to lose
Yeah.
its
value.
real value, honestly, because then the criminals can't turn around and use it anywhere.
right.
It would just be like if you lived in a country that like you got totally cut off from the rest of the world by like trade embargoes,
yeah.
and your currency was basically useless because you really couldn't do nothing with it. And let's say your country was a major importer of stuff because you couldn't produce a lot of stuff in your country.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah, so I mean, it may be that they move to something else.
Some
Which
other-
I mean, there's other cryptocurrencies out there. It's just, Bitcoin is the most.
The VHS.
Yeah. I guess it is the VHS,
V8.
right?
Yeah, and yeah.
Something else is the Betamax, but yeah. So I just thought that was interesting.
It is.
So a lot has happened during this 6 weeks that we've been out.
Yes, a
And
lot.
I can't even begin to
No.
think of the stories that we've missed.
No, I know.
And talked about, and some of them
Well,
are
all the Apple,
huge and important.
all the Apple stuff.
See,
all the Apple problems.
and you say Apple. See, I built a show note. We started because we thought we were going on the air November 2nd, so we started collecting stories and kind of getting ready for that. Well, that show never made it to air because we got preempted, I think, from something. But yeah, I had a bunch of Apple stuff in that one because I kept that document for posterity purposes. I called it the show that never aired. We should have did it anyway.
We're gonna give it a half number.
No, it's just episode N, and didn't have a number.
So I guess PSA for if for some reason
PSA.
if for some reason they are High Sierra users and didn't know and haven't updated, go update right now.
Or just don't be on High Sierra. Like I am. I'm still on Sierra.
Yeah. So
I'm
sure you know about that, right?
Well, let's tell our listeners, for those who may not be aware. Do you want to tell them?
Oh, I was going to let you give you some mic time.
So basically, what it was,
Apple Guru.
Well, let me see if I get this right. So, in Mac OS, for those who are not Mac users, and this happens in Windows, sorta. Certain things you have to do with the operating system, installing certain software, it'll prompt you for elevated privileges, basically. In Windows, what they call it. On Mac OS, it'll prompt you for your username and password for your login to your computer. And if you had multiple users, which by default you have multiple users, you have your account plus a guest account. So what was happening on High Sierra prior to the patch is when you needed this elevated permission to do something, it would prompt for your credentials. It'd fill in your name, but leave the password, you have to type it in. Well, if you went back and changed the username to root and left no password, just hit enter, it worked. And it gave full reign to whatever installer or whatever it was doing, full reign to your system, had full, and what I mean by root, for those who don't know, because
just say administrator.
Administrator, like full reign of your computer. They can own your computer. Yeah. So somebody nefarious could do something very bad to your computer.
And if you had remote access enabled to your computer, it was remotely exploitable.
And all faculty using Macs are right now installing that version.
Yeah, maybe
at the university.
But here's the thing: 24 hours, well, less than 24 hours after it was made public in the wild that people knew this was a problem, Apple did patch it. So that's why Bruce said, make sure you've updated your Mac to the latest High Sierra. If you're on High Sierra.
Yeah, and if you're not on High Sierra,
then don't go to it.
Well, and you do, make sure you download updates.
Yes, absolutely. Or just don't go to High Sierra like I am. I'm still on Sierra because it'll break several things for me if I go to High Sierra. So
yeah, I'll say that with it. It doesn't seem like, just granted, in the past, and everybody's like it's all because Jobs isn't there anymore. I don't know if that's necessarily true.
No, it's not necessarily Jobs.
I don't know if that's true. But they were like, this would not have, these products wouldn't have gone out. This software wouldn't have gone out. This wouldn't have happened. We've talked about, I think we may have talked about this on air, but I know we've definitely talked about it
Agile
on air. Yeah, with Agile.
Yeah, we have.
But it just seems, so let's talk about this phone real quick. I have not talked about this phone because I got it and then we weren't on the air.
Well, so you're not going to talk about the Agile?
No, we've already covered that.
Well, I want to say something about that before you move on to the phone. I think the Agile part, the developing software rapidly, is part of Apple's problem, but part of it too, I think you can trace back to the lack of Steve Jobs at the helm. And I hate to say that because, you just said that it's not because of Steve Jobs not there. No, I think Steve Jobs, he demanded perfection. And he made sure it was right before it went out the door. I think now the philosophy is somewhat changed at Apple to where the developers are being dictated by management in terms of product calendar. Yeah. You must release by this date.
Well, and it's definitely not hurt their bottom line.
No, it's not. Yeah, it's not. But I've been extremely frustrated personally.
Yeah,
with major showstopper software defects that should have never made it out the door at Apple.
I agree, but
and I've called Apple out several times personally about that.
But in addition to that, what bothers me is that Apple's not the only one.
And that's what I told him. I said,
and it's almost becoming like, yeah, you had bugs in the past.
yes.
But now it's like, these are major design flaws at the get-go.
Yeah.
I mean, like, these are not ready for primetime consumption. And I think this phone, granted, I have not had the same issues that were all over forums and media about issues with this phone. This is a Pixel 2 XL. I got it, and then we weren't on the air. I have had one issue with this phone.
Yeah.
And I just updated to 8.1.
Yeah.
So we will see. And that's what I was waiting for before I called and said, you need to send me a new phone. I'm waiting. So after the show, I'll get to test it out. But I think I'm having USB connectivity issues because
that's not good.
yes, and I heavily rely on Android
Well,
Auto.
Well, who doesn't rely on their USB connectivity in general?
Well, yeah,
Whether it's
so,
USB, Android Auto, or whatever.
Yeah, but when I'm driving, it'll just disconnect, and sometimes it'll cause it to crash and reboot. But it's only with Android Auto or when I'm plugged in using that.
So the phone will reboot.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was driving for like 5 hours the other day,
Mm-hmm.
and no joke, no less than probably 24 times.
Wow. Really?
Yeah. Yes, it was very frustrating. So I was like, you know what? I'll wait till 8.1. If I still have that problem, I'm gonna say send me a new phone.
Yeah.
But that's the only issue that I've had. Like, people have reported, that high pitch noise.
Yeah.
They've reported
Problems with the screen.
Problems with the screen. I haven't had any problems with the screen. I actually think a lot of, because it was that whole RGB versus whatever other
Right.
true color. And I've like compared stuff with my phone and then my wife's iPhone, and I'm like, it actually does look better on this screen. And we've also talked, or maybe we didn't. It's been 6 weeks. So I know I had a conversation with somebody about Samsung screens.
Right.
They're beautiful, beautiful screens.
Yeah.
But they're also like going to the big box store and looking at a TV, and it's on Vivid. And that's the way Samsung has their screens calibrated, is to be vivid all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not necessarily the best way to. It needs to be more dynamic. You
Mm-hmm.
you have certain settings for cinema based stuff. And I mean, you're not watching. I mean, yeah, you do watch stuff on your phone, but there's certain saturations and
Yeah.
sharpness for different
Right.
things. And Vivid isn't always great, but at first glance, like, yeah, man, that's a
Looks
beautiful
amazing.
screen because it's vivid.
Yeah.
But it's not great for everything.
Right.
And I don't know if this is dynamic, but I mean, it seems like different colors pop with different things when they need to. And I'll be curious too. I will say, like, recording,
Mm-hmm.
because I was at a pretty good distance. I was at my brother and sister-in-law's wrestling tournament, and I was zoomed in recording them, and I, no joke, did not tell them I had a new phone or anything like that. But my sister was like, wow, you do an amazing job recording. Your hands don't shake or anything because of that motion blur.
Yeah, right.
It just fixed all that. And man, I was like, oh yeah, that's true. That is amazing. So it's going to be exciting where they take stuff like that, and it's only going to get better.
Right.
But I bring it back around to say this phone was not ready for prime time. I don't think. I've had that issue. To me, that is a major
Yeah.
issue.
If it's something hardware related,
Yes.
it's certainly major.
Well, it's like with the iPhone 10. They deliberately could not. Well, not deliberately. They had trouble with the Face ID
Yes.
sensor array getting the quality to the manufacturer, getting the quality up to Apple standards.
Yeah.
So Apple took less precise product, lower quality. It was less precise.
Yeah.
Just to get the product out the door.
Yeah.
And you can't fix that in software. It's one thing if we got a software bug and we're working on it.
Yeah.
If you ship the hardware as is, it is the hardware is the
yeah,
hardware.
yeah.
You can't change the hardware
So
out.
I'm curious as to what
it's
Google's going to say about this when I contact them. Because it's not cables. I've tried different cables.
I got you.
It's not
Well,
car.
is it USB-C?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
USB-C.
USB-C.
It's not my vehicle because
Right.
I've used it on different vehicles and I've used different phones.
You're not plugging it in right.
On my vehicle.
Apple would say that. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
Apple would say that.
My bad.
So it's going to be interesting to see what they come back with, and I'm going to say, look, I've done all these troubleshooting. I've waited for this
Right.
software release just in case it wasn't it was something. But would I say I would want my Pixel XL back? No. This phone is a lot better. Oh, and you know how I told you the whole squeeze thing? Like we talked about that being gimmicky. I really enjoy it.
Really?
Because I'm a private person. I don't like to say, "Okay, Google," and it just did pull up, but I have to unlock it. But it is kind of nice to just be able to squeeze, and then my finger's already there to unlock it, and I can say whatever I need to say without having to announce.
I get it. I see that.
And it really is nice. Now,
So you squeeze the sides.
yeah, just squeeze the sides.
Like the Pillsbury Doughboy. Oh, that's to poke the middle.
And bring, okay.
What does it do
It
again?
brings up Google,
Yeah,
okay,
just-
Google Now, basically.
Okay.
And then you start talking.
Yeah, and then you start talking. So I will say that feature I have enjoyed because when sometimes when you're in a environment with a lot of noise or there's just a lot of ambient noise,
Right.
it's hard for it sometimes, which is a good thing for it to pick up that you've said okay Google.
Yeah.
So just that ability to squeeze is nice.
Sorry.
Um,
Didn't mean to scare you with my. It's like a mic drop. Boom.
But yeah, so and I will say this: I don't have a screen protector on this.
Oh, he's a brave soul.
Yeah, well, it's been kind of hard to find a glass one, and I don't want the gel.
Yeah.
So,
Well, yeah, I like my glass one on my iPhone 8.
well, we'll have more after the break.
That's
Hey,
right.
Techies Show.
Hey, Techies Show. Be right back.
Don't go anywhere. There's more in the queue lined up just for you.
Welcome back into the Hey Techies show. Enjoying some of Guru's selections tonight.
It's Christmas.
Celebration.
That's right.
Better have some.
And we hope that you all have a Merry Christmas.
And Happy New Year's.
Yes, that too, when that gets around here.
And Happy
Well,
Hanukkah.
we got buzzards going off or something here.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
Oh, Guru.
A lot of stuff going.
Guru is out the door, apparently.
So, you know, I don't know if this happened during the time that we were off the air, but Amazon came out with Amazon Key.
Yes.
I want to say it did.
Yeah, I'm pretty
We've
sure.
had conversations. I just don't remember if they were on air or off air. So it was kind of expensive to set up. It was like $200 or $300,
Mm-hmm.
and basically you got a smart lock for your house and a webcam.
Okay.
And it was kind of to help packages from being stolen.
Is that sort of their answer similar to that Ring company? It's
so. Yeah, I guess.
Is that I don't remember if that's a
so
lock.
We'll get to it. Well, with the Ring doorbell, you know, it pops up and you can talk to the person, stuff like that.
Maybe that's just notification.
But what this is for your Amazon packages. And notice I'm saying Amazon packages.
Okay.
Because Walmart's done the same thing. But you know, the Quickset and I think Yale were the locks that they.
Okay. Yeah.
gave you options for.
Now this is ringing some bells.
Okay. Yeah. Just not the Ring doorbell.
No. Right. Got it.
So it's all to, or at least what they say is to help.
I see where this is going.
Curtail packages being stolen. Your Amazon packages.
Right.
So the way it works is that you're scheduled a package. And this is I guess for where Amazon is contracting out. And,
right.
I don't know if this works for UPS. But basically, they have an app on their phone. They say, "Hey, I'm here to make a delivery." It is scheduled, so it turns on the camera and records. They place the box in, and it records them, and they come out and then close it, and then the door locks. Well, during this whole 6-week hiatus,
yes,
they had an issue where you could basically interrupt the Wi-Fi signal of it. It would freeze a still image and would go offline. You wouldn't know, and then they could go do whatever.
Jeez.
So it's basically just overpowering the signal to just like get the same SSID, whatever, and it's on it. So
yeah, what Bruce said.
Yeah. So Amazon has fixed that, and they're working on alerting their customers that have that their device is offline. I don't know if there's an ability for it to locally cache any of the footage.
Mm-hmm.
So even if it were to go, but at least it wouldn't unlock your door if it's offline. Is what they have fixed.
So I had to step out. So those who just tuned in, what's the kind of the 30,000-foot view of this?
We're talking about the Amazon Key.
Key?
Yeah.
I know they had a key.
Yeah. So
okay.
This is their whole camera and smart lock to be able to receive Amazon packages. They'll be able to put it inside your house.
That.
Yes.
Okay.
Similar to what Walmart has. But here's the thing that I've been kind of.
I don't trust that.
Here's the thing that I've been kind of alluding to the entire time when I said your Amazon packages.
Yeah, I get it.
It only works with Amazon.
Right.
And a step further, the Quickset and Yale locks, even though they make those, and normally they would work with those apps for Yale and that they don't. They only work with the Amazon app. And this is Amazon's way of becoming the OS for your house.
Again, I'm
locking you down to
that's the whole problem. It's Internet of Things. There's no standard. There's too many competing standards. I mean, it ain't like there's two or three. There's
this isn't about a standard.
I see.
There's too much there's too much competing. You have to have this type of this for this, and the Nest that, and the Blink that, and the blah 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 this. It's just there's just all this. There's no. I can go buy an Internet of Things thing and it work.
And that's the thing too.
That's what bothers me about this whole thing.
This lock and the camera, even though it I guess has the ability to hook to like your Samsung Smart Thing, stuff like that. Nope, can't do it.
The problem that pardon me, sorry. The problem
You're pardoned.
the problem I would have with all of this is what about your security system that you have? It's not going to mesh with that. It won't cut your security system, and that's going to
That is a valid point.
what kind of
Consideration.
what kind of security system would you have to interact with this?
Amazon
That would cut off and cut
off
back.
cut off and come back on.
That's a very valid
mean,
point because, and here's the thing.
How would that work?
And what if you have a non-IoT security system, like a traditional hardwired security system?
This is my thought with that. If the person has this,
Yeah.
and I would say, because I don't know if you put this inside your, I guess you put it inside or outside, but I guess the idea is to put it right inside your front door so you can see them open the door, put the package down, and leave, not go further into your house. But if you could figure out if somebody has this, then most likely, even if they have an alarm system, it's probably disabled.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
And I'm not talking about only disabled for the moment, but disabled. Period.
Right.
So if I know that you have this, then there's a pretty safe bet I could just break in your house.
Yeah.
I don't.
And all that is there for is to keep honest people honest.
Right. I know.
Which really all of that is.
Right. I know.
But a security system is to either catch or deter
right.
Yeah.
dishonest
Right.
people,
That's
not
correct.
to keep honest people.
That's correct.
Mm-hmm.
So by introducing this, unless Amazon's planning on coming out with a security system much like Nest
That's
did,
ridiculous.
which I do not recommend the Nest system. I saw a headline somewhere. It was like, if you want to get into securing your home easily, like this is the system to get. And I was like, how much did they get paid to say this?
Wow.
Because I'm sorry, I could not endorse that. Period. It's just insane. Like, I see so many flaws in it.
Yeah.
And we talked about that on the
I
show.
can't
probably the last episode or episode.
I can't understand why you would want this. I'm sorry. I just
and I don't give Walmart employees a bad rap, but whenever Walmart came out with this, I was like, I don't want a Walmart employee in my home. But nobody has said that about Amazon, and a lot of these are contractors that you don't know what type of background check they've gone through.
I don't want anybody in my home when I'm not there.
Yeah.
I'm talking about unless I've already scheduled somebody to work for some reason. But even then, I'm probably going to find somebody, a relative or somebody to be there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I just think we just live in a day and age you just can't do that anymore. Those days are gone.
Yeah. But I will say this one thing from reading this article, and I want to say this was on the Washington Post. And I want to say he says, Amazon apparently owns or Bezos owns.
Yes,
the
that's
Washington
correct.
Post, but he's like, I'm still taking a critical look at this, which is kind of nice, to be honest, in that it's it's not like this was hard to find. But you get what I'm saying there with that.
Yeah.
But one thing he says was, I forget how much this cost to get, but Amazon even had somebody help to install it, but it was on a door that was older, and the deadbolt didn't quite line up, and the installer wasn't, I guess, cleared to make that change, and the guy paid a locksmith $100. Probably the call out fee's $80. Then $20 for 5 minutes worth of work, but to basically put a new lock plate on there,
A strike plate.
Yeah. And do people not do anything anymore? Like,
I don't know. A strike plate,
like
two screws,
yeah,
And like a 50-cent part.
Yeah, I was just amazed. I was like, does this guy just have money to blow? Does he not know how to do this? And I'm not going to get into that. But come on.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Everybody, and I'm not
Yeah,
downplaying women. My wife can install a door lock, the whole lock. She does it. She has done it.
Yeah, I'm sure she could.
Yeah, and like literally just a screwdriver. Like, that's it.
Yeah. if you don't have to make much adjustment to the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
a
I mean,
strike plate, come
a
on.
strike plate, yes. And if
Even if it doesn't fit exactly right, you get a screwdriver and a hammer, a flathead, and
and
chisel out the wood a little
exactly.
bit.
Chisel out the. I mean, come
You don't
on.
even have to have any complicated tools.
Just blows my mind.
Wow.
That whole article, I was like, you paid $100 for somebody to do.
Well,
that for
I
you.
mean, I kind of maybe understand it if you're going to get this lock. I mean,
maybe
the mentality that you would want that
but
lock.
but then
I
on
just don't
top of that, it should let you know if you don't have the drive to go, I guess, and get some degree to go into some profession. There's plenty of money to be made in services.
Yeah, that's true.
Because there's smart people like this that will pay $100 for a 50-cent part.
Guru, you okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
And like you said, yeah, maybe he was like, I just want this to all be kosher, so I'm not going to do any of this myself. So they can't say, well, you installed it improperly. But I had people that were certified, people that were experts.
I have my people
that did this. So I mean, this guy probably $300 or whatever it is for the lock system, paid an additional $100
Right.
to have people in his home.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Well,
Man.
just
to save Amazon insurance money.
Well, when we come back, it will be our.
We still got a minute
Dose.
Okay. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
When we come back, but we're going to stay on the air for now.
I wasn't.
Got 54 more seconds.
I see. Never mind. I thought for a second there. I kept telling myself that
They're
says
gonna
a
argue
minute
about this
to
for a
go.
minute.
I wasn't reading it correctly.
You're not looking at it right.
I wasn't.
No.
I'm not looking
Well,
at it.
well,
right.
coming up in our dose, we're going to talk about smart urinals.
Yeah, we're going from smart locks, smart
Smart-
keys, Amazon keys to smart.
We'll talk
urinals.
about
We've
some
got-
vulnerabilities, maybe robots.
We've got a different self-driving story.
We'll talk
that I
about
found, too.
privacy, and maybe we'll talk about net neutrality. Since
Bruce
Maybe.
and Guru.
since it is everywhere, it's like
Bruce and Guru
every
will talk about
story
net
that you get
neutrality.
to.
Yeah.
I don't know. We may or may not. We've talked about it
Bruce.
before.
Bruce can talk. Bruce
Just,
and Guru can entertain you.
It's going to be a sad day, which I'm kind of curious what happened with all the protests today. So we'll see. I was working.
I'm sure somebody did something, said something, threw something,
And
yelled at somebody.
everybody on the Hill didn't listen.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what happened.
That's probably exactly what
They're
happened.
just too busy to.
They were
They
too
can-
busy taking in that money.
Yeah. Hey,
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Jack Speer. Congress has voted to extend government funding for 2 weeks. NPR's Kelsey Snell reports Congress passed the stopgap measure in hopes of giving itself time to hash out a longer-term spending agreement.
The vote followed a sit-down at the White House where President Trump and congressional leaders discussed a broader spending agreement. Trump opened that meeting on a positive note.
We're all here as a very friendly, well-unified group. It's a well-knit together group of people, and we hope that we're going to make some great progress for our country. I think that will happen.
The remarks were a departure from an earlier statement in which Trump said Democrats were threatening to create a spending crisis over immigration. Congressional leaders said the meeting was productive, but they left without an agreement. Democrats said they plan to continue talks with Republicans in hopes of reaching a long-term spending deal in the coming weeks. Kelsey Snell, NPR News, the Capitol.
In a speech on the floor of the U.S. Senate today, Minnesota Senator Al Franken said some of the sexual harassment allegations against him are, quote, untrue, but nonetheless, he said he will be stepping down in coming weeks. Franken's announcement comes just a day after new accusations brought the number of women alleging misconduct by him to at least 8. The 66-year-old Democrat stepping down amid eroding support from his Senate colleagues.
Serving in the United States Senate has been the great honor of my life. I know in my heart that nothing I have done as a senator, nothing, has brought this honor on this institution. And I am confident that the Ethics Committee would agree.
Minnesota Governor Mark Dayton will name a temporary replacement to fill Franken's seat until the special election next November. Smoke continues to fill several Southern California communities today. More than 100,000 acres are burning in and around Los Angeles. Michelle Faust from member station KPCC has more.
Hurricane-force gusts have hindered firefighters' abilities to make significant progress on several fires in Los Angeles and Ventura counties. LA Mayor Eric Garcetti warns Santa Ana winds and heat are expected to pose challenges into the weekend.
The dryness, the amount of vegetation, and some of the areas still that have not burned makes this still a very threatening environment. So even as you see inroads being made, we are going to have an abundance of caution.
Thousands of homes have been evacuated and authorities warn people not to return. National Guard troops and fire personnel from surrounding states have been deployed to the region. LA firefighters are using drones to find hotspots in the city. For NPR News, I'm Michelle Faust in Pasadena.
With more doctors asking their female patients if they prefer 3D mammograms over the regular kind, there's mounting debate over which one is better. As a result, health officials say they're launching a study to look at that. On Wall Street today, the Dow Jones Industrial Average up 70 points to 24,211. The Nasdaq rose 36 points. This is NPR.
Fix it, trash it, change it, melt, upgrade it, charge it, point it, zoom it, press it, snap it, work it, quick erase it, write it, cut it, paste it, save it, load it, check it, quick rewrite it, plug it, play it, burn it, rip it, drag it, drop it, zip and zip it.
Welcome back into the Hey Techies Show.
Hey Techies
Hey
Show.
Techies Show. This is not the...
Do not adjust your radio.
Yeah, do not adjust your radio. This is not the Talk Like a Frog show.
Or talk like a pirate. Arr.
I'm not even that good.
You sound like that when you get Hey Techies Show.
Yeah.
Arr.
So let's talk a little bit security. A little bit. Just a little
Welcome back to the Hey Techies Show. Let's dig right in and let's talk about security.
Let's talk about a little bit.
Bruce is not wasting a second.
Talk about security, okay.
So I discovered this a little bit before I heard it on another podcast.
Okay.
And I have started using it. Of course, I haven't really noticed a difference, which I guess is a good thing. This is the reason why there's so many problems.
Go ahead.
Nobody cares about security.
Oh, nobody cares? Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, what is this product, Bruce?
It is free.
Yeah.
No, if it's free, it's for me.
Well, and this is not where you become not where you become the product.
Okay.
Granted, it could easily be abused, but it is not set up with that in mind. It is set up just to make the internet a better place, and in turn, it will reduce costs for some companies, and just overall make the internet better. So the problem is with DNS. And there's a product now called Quad 9.
And what's DNS for those who may not know?
Do you want me to give like a 50,000 foot view? So basically,
Yes.
it's what translates whenever you go to Google.com. It's what translates that URL into an IP address.
Okay. Yeah.
But so with that, there's names that can get hijacked.
As in Quad 9, QUAD9. Is
Yes.
that what? Okay.
And I'll get to the reason why it's called that in a second.
Okay.
And if you don't know how to change your DNS settings,
Yes.
they have a great video that shows you how, or just get whoever is your computer guy to change it for you, and change it on your router. That way you don't have to change it on all your devices.
Yeah, we've talked about this before.
Yeah,
we talked
so
about this.
the
with
reason why it's
Open
called
DNS.
Quad 9 is that the address for it is 9.9.9.9. Which I think that was originally, I haven't read through all their stuff and the history and all that. I think that was an original IBM address. They originally had a block.
Yes.
There's a lot of companies that had huge blocks. And
Oh,
now
sure.
They're starting to give some of those back because they're like, we don't need them.
Yeah.
So what it is it is a free recursive anycast DNS platform that provides end users robust security protections, high performance, and privacy. So they don't log all your any of your DNS requests. They don't use it for analytics. They don't use it to advertise to you. They don't inject things like your ISP may do to say, "Hey, you haven't paid your bill yet," or just stuff like that. But what it does is that there's a group of companies together that find these websites that maybe have had malware injected into them, or they're just bad sites, and it is a kind of a first line of defense to be able to say you don't need to go there, or this was a reputable site, but now we know that there's malware there now, so it is. They are currently adding more servers, so it may not be the quickest DNS for you right now, but over the next year they're going to be adding, I think, like 128 more server locations.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have not done a benchmark at my house, but I haven't noticed a difference because I didn't want to see a number and that make me think. I was like, I'm just going to do it blindly and see if I notice. And before I was using 8.8.8.8, which is Google.
4.5.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just changed it to 999.999.
Yeah.
Of course, they have a secondary one. I can't remember what it is. It's 148 dot something. I haven't put that in. But it's basically a filter for your DNS, and I think this is, DNS is such a lightweight protocol. And that is part of the beauty of it, and the reason why it hasn't been messed with.
Right.
And I think this is a good way of fixing it, or at least maybe a first step without completely changing it. So I'm interested to see how this goes. So if you want to know more, quad9.net, QUAD9, the number 9.net. Definitely suggest you should check it out. I'm not giving it my, stamp of approval yet, but I'm using it, and so far so good.
So stamp approval pending.
Yeah, pending, I guess. I don't really want to say, well, let me go to some known malicious site to test it, because generally I just know not to go to that.
Right.
So
that is
Yeah,
go to www.whatever.com, badsite.com.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
We need to have a sandbox VM or something.
I've thought about that. I mean, I've got some in my lab.
It says they're
In your lab.
Yeah, everybody should have a home lab.
The founding organizations, IBM, Packet Clearinghouse, and Global Cyber Alliance.
The Packet Clearinghouse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you go back and you look, that 9.9.9.9, IBM still owns that.
Okay.
It's still assigned to them.
Okay.
So they probably just kind of donated that IP for this.
Yeah.
Well, they're a founding member.
Yeah.
According to this, founding organizations.
So they've got threat intelligent partners.
Transfer the project to easy to remember 9999 address.
Oh, and I will say this. Now that we're talking about, because there's some security partners with us, Proofpoint, F-Secure, NetLab,
Saw that,
and whatnot. And if you are in, I guess, enterprise IT at all, especially security, I'm sure you have heard of Cylance. Or if you listen to any podcasts that are IT related, man, they have a great marketing team. They have joined Virus Total.
Okay.
And I'm sure y'all know what Virus Total
is.
I'm gonna say Google's the one that started or that owns Virus Total. Basically, it's a whole bunch of different AV companies. You can upload a file, but know that whatever you're uploading is now available for researchers. So if you have a sensitive document, definitely don't upload it.
Right.
Especially like if it's your company's financials or social security numbers, like that means it's now, and it's not hard to become a registered researcher for that.
Wow.
To say, well, I'm going to start going through this, which man, I'm telling you, if you wanted to do some corporate espionage, that would be a great resource. And
I can see that.
And so I guess, two competing products. We have Silence and we have Bit9 Carbon Black. They have a option in there to use Virus Total, but there is a disclaimer on there. And we've talked about this. I know we've talked about this on the show of like, hey, just know that means anything that's scanned here is going out for pretty much the world to see.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say is that Silence, is, this whole, it's not signature based, AI's doing this. But there has, since they've joined that, and I don't know if they had the foresight for this. I think they were like, we're being good corporate citizens by going and doing this. But there's a lot of stuff that's 0 days, that's malicious, that Silence didn't catch. And it's like, I would kind of want to start knowing, why did that not catch that? If you're a partner with this, and the whole idea is that I can have a system that's offline and your algorithm's going to figure out that this is a virus, that it's not signature based, then why is it not stopping it there? Just a question.
That's a good question.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Sure. Security,
They do.
Security inquiring minds want to know.
Please,
Bruce wants to know.
Please let us know, Silence.
Bruce is dying to know.
Unless you want to be a corporate sponsor.
Bruce.
And then we'll just say, this show brought to you by Silence.
Yeah.
They blow some money on some marketing.
Okay. A couple of things here that I cannot forget, by the way.
Don't forget.
No. That I'm not going to forget.
Okay, don't forget.
Number one.
This Coke's out of date.
Are you serious?
Yeah. By a month.
Wow. That's unusual.
Huh. Interesting. Go ahead, Michael.
And I've got video.
Happy birthday to the guru.
Oh, thank you.
Happy birthday.
Did not forget about it. Another thing is this. I hate to single the guru out here yet, but I wanted to learn more, as I'm sure a lot of the listeners do, because they might not listen to airline podcast, about the American Airlines computer glitches.
Oh,
they had some weird stuff go on over their break. Seems like, or it was coming up, right?
Well, this is like a week or so old.
I know.
And it got picked up by the mainstream media,
We've
so a
missed
lot
a
of folks
lot.
may have heard this. But I know when I first read it, I shared it with both of you two here in the room with me. Are we doing that now?
Yes,
Okay,
please.
okay. So this has got a tech angle, so just bear with me. I tend to twist aviation stories into tech, but here's the thing. So this is dealing with a major U.S. carrier, American Airlines. So when the pilots, because they have thousands of flights a month, and I don't know how many pilots they have, but trying to schedule all them to where they're gonna what flights are operating, that takes some sophisticated software.
Right.
It's not done by hand anymore. It used to be a long time ago. So the pilots go in and they, I've got some friends that are airline pilots. They've given me some information on how it works. Everything's seniority based here in the U.S. So they go in and bid on their schedule, and it's seniority based. So the more senior you are in the company, the more chance of you getting what you asked for, including vacations, because they have to bid for vacation time. Well, this is the holiday season coming up, and I think most people are going to try to see if they can get off for times around Christmas, because the airlines never stop operating because of Christmas. So, pilots put in for their requests, and we're praying they get it. And then, some of them were actually getting it. It's like, oh, I'm getting my vacation off. Well, here's the thing. There was a computer glitch with American Airlines software that determines who gets off for holidays. So basically, they let too many pilots be off during the Christmas travel season. So, let's see what had happened. Let's see.
You get vacation.
Vacation for everybody. Yeah. So this was on the 29th of November. So this is a week or so old, but
you just have to pay the taxes.
Yes.
American Airlines, they revealed that they accidentally told too many of its pilots they could take off the week of Christmas. So it was facing a manpower crisis that could leave an estimated 15,000 flights with nobody to sit in the cockpit. Here's the thing: American Airlines has been marketing and selling tickets on these flights for months. So it's like, what do we do? So the airline, they said they blamed some sort of computer glitch. It looks like the scheduling system
It's
is
always a computer problem.
yes, it blamed the computer.
Always computers.
It looks like the scheduling system uses to assign pilots to flights indicated that there were plenty of captains and first officers to go around. Meanwhile, a separate system, which assigns holiday leave based on seniority, got carried away with the festive spirit, according to this Wired article, and gave too many people time off. So to get their aviators back to work and avoid mass cancellations, because that'd be a bad thing to have to start canceling flights, giving refunds. American is offering a time and a half pay to pilots who pick up certain flights. In the statement, it said it has reserved pilots to cover the uptick in flying during December, and it's working with the pilots union to smooth everything out. Representatives for the Allied Pilot Association, which represents nearly 60,000 pilots in the U.S. and Canada, say the airline should have consulted with them over the extra pay. But with weeks left for the peak travel season, it's hard to imagine they won't find an acceptable solution. Well, what has happened since this article was released is they did come to a solution, the union and the pilots. So they've apparently got all this holes in their schedule covered now. Well, time and a half, I'd go work. I'm like, yeah, I'd love to be at home, but for a time and a half, yeah, I'll go work.
Yeah. Sounds like a good deal for somebody.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's Merry Christmas. I mean, it's going to cost Americans some extra labor, but
Yes,
I mean, but it's better than having to cancel flights. And like I told you at lunch this, and I was telling somebody else at lunch today, we were talking about this, and I cannot imagine the complexities in the software they use to have to determine who gets time off and how to schedule people.
Right.
I was talking to a guy that works for a major U.S. carrier, not American, another one, which the airline will remain nameless. And they were talking about the complexities and how they determine the order. If you're flying standby, like they've oversold a flight, which they normally do. They have like a standby list. Mm-hmm. The logic and the business rules that to determine where in the standby list you fall. There's so many different things that determine whether you're higher or lower.
Right. Yeah.
I cannot imagine writing that code. Too. That's something totally different than this. But I mean, the complexities. Oh my goodness! But I'm glad they got it worked out.
Yeah. Speaking of airlines,
and here's a quote here, real quick. This was these are really complicated systems. They're huge, and testing them for every potential interaction is almost impossible, says Bill Curtis, chief scientist for CAST, which is a consortium for IT software quality. Anyway. I want to say that. Go ahead.
There is a company, and I'm thinking that it's a Boom Aircraft.
Boom.
Yeah, they're building a new supersonic jet.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This is news to me.
Well, Japan Airlines is said to have at least $10 million invested to bring back the supersonic commercial flights.
Okay.
And this company, Boom Supersonic, said...
Boom!
Yeah. Apparently it's a Denver-based upstart, and they hope to develop a plane that will cut, times in half with cruising speeds of Mach 2.2. They're saying they believe they can make the trip from San Francisco to Tokyo much more bearable, probably 5.5 hours from San Francisco to Tokyo with this aircraft.
Interesting.
And the Virgin Group, which is run by Richard Branson, his company has options to buy the first 10 Boom jets, according to this article.
Oh, yeah. I just went to boomsupersonic.com and I saw the tales of Virgin and Japan Airlines on here.
So anyway,
yeah, $10 million by Japan Airlines. Wow. Well, I mean, with getting that kind of backing, that does help their project. Obviously, is getting some airlines to kind of
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's going to be interesting because
now this article's old, but I just happened to notice it today.
Well, I mean, that's it's still relevant. I mean, that's interesting because, anyway.
Well, when we come back, we'll move on to something else. And if you want to be on the show, 256-782-5600. There's still plenty of time, and we'll talk about what you want to talk about. Hey, Techies Show. Be right back. Welcome back into the Hey Techies Show.
I'm not going to try to compete with David Archuleta.
And we're starting our Christmas Eve is an off right tonight. We may have upward at least we can have 3 episodes this month, so we'll see. I don't know if we're going to do the 21st or not. We'll see. But anyway, Bruce asked me in the if we were going to discuss this Uber story, and we could talk about Uber. I did find a story about Uber. They're saying now that Uber did pay a Florida hacker $100,000 for what they discovered, and in agreement with receiving the said money, they had to delete the data that they stole.
And the CISO that covered this up was fired, correct?
Yeah, I think that's right.
And I even want to say the CEO before had left.
Yeah, there's been a lot of turmoil.
There's been a lot of unethical stuff going on at Uber.
Yeah, that's true.
And the new CEO, he had only been there not even 2 months whenever they were like, hey, by the way.
Yeah.
So you can't give the new guy a bad time about it. I mean, he probably just learned about it.
Yeah.
And was like, okay, now what happened? You know, like,
yeah,
let me wrap my head around this.
His name is Cole Rossi, KHOSROWSHAHI.
So this begs the question,
Mr. K,
if executives know of a breach and knowingly covered it up, and that means don't tell their customers that, hey, your data has been stolen, should we have the ability to prosecute? What are your thoughts? Wrong. I'm just kidding. What are your thoughts?
Well, yeah, I mean,
now say that one more time.
Rewind it on your. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
If a company, especially, say if an executive, is told that data has been breached, and they purposefully cover it up, and do not tell their customers that their data has been taken, should they be prosecuted?
Well, there's actually
not should they just be fired or get a severance or anything,
like criminal charges.
Yeah.
Bill Nelson has actually introduced legislation to basically do that. I mean,
that there was malicious intent there. You did not inform your customer.
Well, I will say this: doing that as a customer, I would lose all trust in that company.
But you can't get that data back. Like, it's gone. It's not like there was cash that was handed over. You can say, I want a refund.
Right.
That's part of the problem too with all this, that people, if and I know I just said Quad 9, you're not the customer, but if it's free, you're the customer, and what I mean, you're the customer, you're the product, because what they're taking is your data. Think of it as like cash. You would say, I'm paying this for this product, and you're giving this information which has value for that product, and there's no, well, I'm done using your product, so I'm done with that giving you out information. No, they have that. You're never getting that back. There's no way to get that back. There's which we talked about this before the show. With the EU, there is a right to be forgotten. Like, I used to have a Facebook whenever it first started. And I have since then deleted, air finger air quotes there, my account. It's still there. And the way Facebook has it set up, you can at any time go log back in and your account's active again. But I want it gone. I do not want Facebook to have my data. I've not used Facebook in years and years and years. There's no point in holding on to that. It's just so you still have that data that's there. And it's like they now own a piece of me. They own that time period in my life, the information that was there, they own that.
I still don't see how you could really erase yourself. I mean, I don't.
So that's kind of what we were talking about. So let's talk about the complications with that. We were talking.
I'm not even sure if I can get my mind around it.
It is very difficult, because I mean, people think so on such a small scale. Well, it's like, well, on my computer, I can just go delete that picture, and then delete it out of the mailbox, and for all intents and purposes, it's gone.
Right.
Yeah, it could be retrieved, but I mean, if you think about this on a scale of all this data being written to it, it's going to get written over, and then yes, it is gone.
Yeah.
But we were talking about before the show with the GDPR, the General Data Protection Regulation that the EU is putting out, which extends that right to be forgotten that was created back in 2014. What kind of effect is that going to have? Because they've got to be in compliance in like the next year, maybe. And there's tons of companies that aren't going to be able to meet this. And this gives the EU the right to fine them, I think, up to 4% of their global profits, because they're like, there are data protection rights, and if you violate that, then you should have to pay. And it's not going to be a small fine, because else it would just be an operating cost, right? That's the way a lot of companies look at this. Is that's just an operating cost. It's more expensive to put in the controls to fix it than it would to be just to pay the fine if we get caught. So that, stuff like that. I think this would be a benefit it would be a benefit for us, the consumer, but not necessarily us as in the company, these American companies. It could hurt us economically there.
Mm-hmm.
But this is all part of globalization. If you're wanting to do business in all these places, you've got to play by their rules. And at what point does a country become big enough that their rules dictate the rest of the world? It's at some point, could China get so big that they say you've got to do this, that it would be too expensive for them to do so many different things, and they just say, well, we're doing this across the board, that may not be favorable, or that we may not see favorable as a consumer in America.
I don't know. I mean, I you got valid points. I see all that, but
well, I know they're valid. I brought them up.
Oh, sure, but here's the question would be, I guess, to me is, are they considering these companies basically because they're offering a product within their confines of their country? I mean, is that what we're... Yeah, but But that wouldn't be like that protection falling over to people that live inside the United States. I mean, I don't see how you could. That law is not.
I'm not saying the law reaches, but I'm saying not directly, but indirectly that law has affected users in other countries.
Yeah. I'm not a legal
because I don't know what the EU, is it just EU citizens, or is it any data that passes through the EU?
Yeah, I mean, I can see how that's a problem
because there's data centers in the EU.
Yeah,
and and part of that's the whole PRISM thing. The PRISM controversy with NSA is, my communications may leave this country and come back in because that was the shortest route.
I would be interested to know, and this would be difficult, how many people are really interested as a percentage in
the right to be forgotten.
Yeah, the right. How many would know what that is, or even consider that they want that?
That's a good question.
I mean, because most people probably don't even know this is happening in the EU, in America.
Yeah. I was surprised at the conversation I had about this whole net neutrality thing, that they had no clue. They were like, do what now? And I was like, do you get on the internet at all? Because it's everywhere, like everywhere.
Yeah. Well,
any news site that you've come across in the past month, it's been on there.
Yeah, that's true.
Any link aggregator, it's been on there.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people don't go to Reddit.
No, I know, but I'm saying any link aggregator.
Yeah, I know.
It's been on mainstream media.
Yeah,
I know.
And I'm like, how do you not know about this? How?
They're busy with life. That's not part of life in their world. Which
I guess they're searching for stuff on YouTube.
Yeah, right. No, not with Amazon products.
Yeah, not with Amazon. Oh, we forgot to bring that up.
No, we talked about it earlier.
No, we brought that up, but the whole thing of, when you tell somebody,
yeah,
hey,
well, I mean,
go watch this video on YouTube. It's something that's viral is usually YouTube based, and we had pointed to each other and kind of laughed when you had said something about. Going on YouTube and watching something.
Yeah, well, it's just like saying you're going to go make a Xerox copy of something.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to watch a video. Everybody assumes you're going to YouTube.
Yeah.
Or you're going to send them to YouTube.
But don't have necessarily be YouTube, but it's kind of.
But I mean, that's the general. The point was, is YouTube more hurt by what's going on, or will Amazon be more hurt by what's going on? I mean, I know this.
To me, I'm not a Google fanboy, but I guess I prefer Google services. I mean, I use a lot of them. To me, it looks bad on them. Like, why are you doing
it?
Would
depend on. I think that's true. I think this goes back to if the person cares or understands who's actually doing it. Because what I was saying is, I didn't realize just by the limited blip of a news this morning, who was doing what.
Yeah,
because was not.
I wonder if this is tit for tat with, Amazon had their app, their Amazon Video app available on Apple products, but not on Android. Yeah. Which, man,
but actually, I read a review that some people say it's terrible.
The app?
Mm-hmm.
Years ago it was, but it wasn't so bad when you casted.
Well,
I just searched for
I'm sorry,
and
I
casted
apologize.
it.
I left a piece of information out.
Yeah.
It was somebody talking about the app on the Apple TV. They were talking about that particular app.
I can understand. Yeah.
I don't have any idea.
I would say the app in general was terrible, but the fact that I didn't have to have a Fire Stick. I could just
I see what you're saying.
Cast it, done. Man, like
that's a good
that
question.
was great. But of course, I would say like I've said in the past, I've pretty much swapped to all Roku. I still have Chromecast in my house just for that case that I need to cast something.
And I don't have any Roku. So.
There's a good bit, not a good bit that happens, but there's times that happens that I need that. But my Fire Sticks, I think all of them are unplugged.
They're on fire.
Yeah,
they got too hot. You have to unplug them, right?
Maybe.
I'm not a fan of I was not a fan of the Fire Sticks. I hadn't used them in several years, but it's just like they're just clunky.
They
didn't perform.
The interface was clunky.
Yeah, and they just didn't. The performance, like it just wasn't a good experience.
Yeah, and what bothers me, even just with the Amazon app, like on Roku, because I mean, then you're basically back at the Fire Stick with that. Yes, I guess like part of it is they want to drive you to purchasing. Purchase this media.
Yeah.
But I would like to have an option like, don't show me anything that I need to purchase. Only what I've already paid for.
Yeah.
And that would be great if they would do that.
Yeah.
If they would have done that. I mean, I know it's not in their best interest. But it may be like, I can't find this. Let me search for it. Oh, here it is to purchase. And that's the way Roku works is, you'll search it and it'll say, here's the apps you have. Here's where it's available. If it's not available, here's where to purchase
on
it.
Roku, there's an Amazon app on Roku?
Yeah.
For like the Prime stuff.
Channel.
Yeah. Like, so, because I was talking to a neighbor this weekend about the Amazon Prime. So you get certain content included in that membership.
Yeah.
And my question was, they were asking me about the Fire Stick. I said, I'm not personally a fan, but if all you're going to do is consume Prime content, it's probably a good device to go with because it's going to be out of the box, going to work.
But if they also have Netflix or if they also have Hulu, if they have anything else, granted, yes, you can get those channels through your Amazon Fire Stick, whatever.
But Roku is a better experience with those.
To me, it is.
Okay.
To me, it is. And Roku is definitely will definitely make it easier to find free stuff.
That's good.
Not illegally free stuff, but just free content.
If it's free, it's for me.
Yeah. So
it's more likely sponsored with ads, but I mean that's how they are able to
and
deliver
now,
with no
I
cost.
think Roku's got Roku TV now. And they have, and it's free.
It's been so long since I've used Roku. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, they have Roku TV, and
Roku
they
TV.
kind of, I guess they purchased movies and stuff.
So is it's ad supported?
It is ad supported.
Well, I mean, if you want to watch the ads, you don't have to pay for it.
Yeah, and I'll say this: when it comes to ads, I think I've made it pretty clear how I feel about ads, and just seeing the difference in how my children's experience of the world, like my child.
Yeah.
The other one's not old enough to know yet. Man, I think I'm doing them a huge service by limiting their ad content exposure. I really do. It is amazing.
So you think it's worth paying for these?
I will absolutely
multiple. Because the thing is, now you're having to almost have to pay for multiple.
I don't need
services.
All that. I will just find the service I like.
So
I will find.
So you're a single channel person,
pretty much.
Like you're Netflix or whatever.
Yeah, and I would say Netflix is great.
Yeah.
People complain about their library shrinking, and they're putting their own content out there. But you know what? For the most part, I can find something that I want to watch. My child can find something that she wants to watch, and I'm not exposed to ads. And it has to me, it's so refreshing. Like I know I said it a few years ago whenever it was Christmas time, and I asked her, what do you want for Christmas? And she just said candy.
Man.
And I was, she was at the age like, you should be knowing, like,
this particular thing.
Yeah. Whether it's Polly Pocket or
Cabbage Patch
Kids. Yeah, something.
Yeah.
Like, you've seen these commercials.
I want candy.
Yeah, and she was like, and she was she's happy with the toys that she has. Happy with the experience she gets a good bit of stuff. But, it's not like I specifically have to have this, Barbie playset or the world's gonna end.
Right.
And like this year, the only thing she's asked for, she didn't specifically ask this for Christmas. She wanted a computer, and she wanted a doll.
I want to ask you about
a ballerina doll.
I want to ask you about the computer, about someone younger, a young child with giving them their first computer.
What I am planning on buying for her.
Well, we can do it after the break, but
okay.
I mean, It's almost break time, but
It's almost go to home time.
well, I know, but
That is true.
that's a good tease because I've almost faced the dilemma
What
myself.
am I planning
So-
on buying for her?
But I wanna hear Bruce's take on that when we come back.
Okay.
Is that good with you, Michael?
Sure.
Try to give you a break here. So stay tuned, folks. We got a few more minutes left, and we'll be right back. Hey, Techie Show.
HeyTechiesShow.com. Open 24/7, as long as we don't forget to pay the bill.
Gamecock Outfitters, located on the square at 109 Ladica Street in Jacksonville, provides customers with outdoor apparel and gear. Gamecock Outfitters is able to help you find exactly what you need for every outdoor adventure. Gamecock Outfitters is open Tuesday through Friday from 10 o'clock to 5:30 and Saturday from 10 o'clock to 5 o'clock. For additional information, contact them at 256-435-2008 or check out their website at GadsdenOutfitters.com.
Welcome back to the Hey Techie Show. And we got about 15 minutes here before the end of the night. And so Bruce y'all were talking about little devices for
Little devices
for little kids.
It is going to end up being a little device for sure.
That's the thing. Like, I know for some people, I mean, some people, some younger folks, young children be either asking for their parents think it's the right time for them to have a computer for, whatever the reasons. So that's why I want to.
Yeah. So whenever she asked this, because she just recently had her 5th birthday, which she had a Star Wars cake, which was flipping awesome.
You showed me the picture. That was amazing.
Yes, and it was so
I
cool,
think
man.
I think the dad was more proud of the cake than the child. But but that's beside the point.
The lady that decorated it needed to be proud because it was awesome.
Yeah, it was. It was great cake. Anyway.
Yeah, but so 4 years old, which is the age that I figured out I want to do something with computers for the rest of my life. Not that I'm saying she has to go down that path, but the fact that she showed interest was just, it was.
So this was unsolicited by.
Unsolicited, yeah. She just came up and the thing was she asked her mom first.
Okay.
And her mom was, no, you're not getting a computer. And I was like, oh yes, she is. And there's pluses and minuses to that for sure. But it is something that she was interested in. I want to see where that interest goes. And I'm going to do it on the cheap. I mean, I already have extra monitors. Not everybody has that. But you could go get a monitor for like $100, like a really pretty decent monitor for $100.
You could.
For a kid. And then I'm going to get her a Raspberry Pi. And I'm just probably
geeking out, taking the geek meter here.
Well, there's no need to get a Windows-based computer or a MacBook. Like, there's no need for that.
Okay.
So
you're gonna get a Pi.
I'm gonna get a Pi, and I'll probably get a Linux distro that is specifically made for children. There's some of them out there. I haven't evaluated any yet.
Yeah.
But I'm going to start doing some research on that. I already knew there was a good many out there.
Yeah.
But it'll also be something too that I can if she doesn't like that distro or I don't like it, or if it's just time to do something different, I'll just I'll either load it on that micro SD card or get another one and label them and just change them out. I mean, she already has a Raspberry Pi.
Like, Dad, I want to play with another distro now.
Yeah, so she already has a Raspberry Pi in her room, but it has.
Wow!
It emulates it. It's an emulator for NES, SNES, and Sega Genesis games.
Oh, she's playing those old school games.
Yeah, so like I get in there and play with her every once in a while with some of those games. But she doesn't realize that's a computer.
To her it's just a video game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And two, it's not like she has to be on it all the time. So it's just like play a little bit, whatever, I'm done. And of course, I mean, she's young enough to where that's it's introducing it.
Yeah.
So
with this Raspberry Pi Linux distro, will you connect it to the internet? I mean, I'm just curious. I mean, if you don't feel comfortable answering, what's your recommendation for somebody in a similar situation with a young child? Should they or should they not?
Well, I would say,
or that may be too.
Well, I mean, it's one of those.
Maybe it depends.
Yeah, it depends, and regulate it. If you're going to let them get on the internet, whether it be for to watch some YouTube videos or, at some point it's going to have to get connected to the internet, even if it's just temporarily to do updates,
right? Or
to download something new that they may want.
Okay.
But a lot of it's just to explore, and I mean, you can lock. Not saying. Not everybody could, but you can lock stuff down to where say you can only get to this and you only get to that.
Mm-hmm.
There's concerns about stuff that you can even see on YouTube Kids channel. But I mean, I would say most of these kids you would say, hey, let's maybe do this. They probably already have an iPad or a Fire tablet or something that they're probably already exposed to this. And if they're 5 or 6, then they've already probably have access to computer at school.
Right. So if somebody wanted to do one of these Linux distros and they wanted to be regulating the content they're consuming off the internet or cut it off completely, what can they...
Well, one, don't hook it up to the internet.
Well, I know that, but what can they put on this Raspberry Pi?
I don't know with certain distros. A lot of them probably have it built in.
Okay.
So I don't know. Once I go through and figure out a distro I like, I'll talk more about it.
Yeah, I'm just curious because there's so much now content we consume off the internet that it used to be a lot easier to get a computer, no matter what you paid for it, price point, and have games on it because the internet was not as huge a thing as it is today.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I remember.
But you got to be careful about exposing children to the internet in wholesale.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and whenever I first became interested in computers at 4, you really didn't get on the internet.
No, it wasn't a thing. Even it wasn't really America Online wasn't really a thing.
Yeah.
At least when I was 4 or 5.
Yeah, it wasn't whenever I was 4. But we played.
Maybe when you're 6.
There was games that we played, but I would say most of them, if not all of them, were educational in some sort. And it reinforced some of the things I was already learning. And
the Oregon Trail.
Yeah, well, you had Oregon Trail, and a little bit later there was like a surgery simulator, and then there was like an exploring game that you kind of went around the world and solved puzzles to get to the next thing. And
my go-to game, I spent too many hours of my childhood playing with SimCity.
SimCity, yeah.
I love SimCity.
But that teaches you a lot of things.
It does.
And where in the world's Carmen Sandiego?
Ooh.
Great game.
Where in the world's, let's see.
I'm right here.
I had to play that. Sorry.
But, there was
Rockapella, folks.
But I guess that... having that didn't just spark my interest in computers. It sparked my interest in other things and helped me learn other things. So that's kind of the way I'm looking at it for her.
Well, very good.
So, and she's getting a BB gun.
Oh. Well, did the mama approve the BB gun?
I mean, I've told her. She just shook her head. I was 5 when I got my BB gun. She'll be 5 when she gets hers.
Wow.
Putting somebody's eye out.
She'll get safety classes.
I'm just kidding.
And she'll be taught proper gun safety.
Yeah.
Even if it's a BB gun.
It's got to start somewhere, right?
It's got to start somewhere.
Absolutely. So what's on your, Michael, what's on the wish list for your youngins for Christmas, tech-wise?
I have no idea.
You don't worry about that. The missus takes care of all that. Just spends the money.
No.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I don't know. I think somebody's getting some kind of tablet. So.
Ooh, tablet, iPad.
No, it will not be an iPad.
No iPads in the Michael household.
Well, we have one, but well,
no more.
Nah.
You get one of those the little cheap Android ones. Some of them Android are just too. They're just poorly built.
Not cheap one.
We get you a Samsung fancy one.
Usually Samsung's.
Yeah, I think that's a good Android tablet.
The one we've had seems to last. It still works. But one of my children wants a new one, so we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, so Michael is yawning here.
I duly apologize. I really do. My goodness. I wanted to bring up, though, but Bruce ran out.
Yeah, I'll try. I may not be the...
No, that's okay. Apparently, and speaking of Android, there is an Android keyboard app that they're saying has leaked 31 million users' personal details online.
Do what now?
Yeah, like an extra keyboard. You can import. You can install
right.
optional keyboards. Not good.
Yeah, that's the only thing about those third-party keyboards you got to watch for. Was this Android? You said?
Yeah. So they're saying that.
Yeah, that's. Yeah,
a customizable type keyboard.
It goes back to the Android apps. There's not a whole lot of vetting on the Androids. Yeah.
App AI.type left a 577 gigabyte database of sensitive data on an unsecured server. Apparently, it was left completely accessible to anybody, no password required, according to this article. They're saying that the app in discussions has been downloaded from the Google Play approximately 40 million times.
40 million.
Apparently, it's a popular keyboard app.
Wow.
I use the default one that comes with the software.
There's one that I think was it SwiftKey?
Yeah, SwiftKey.
I think that one can be trusted. But SwiftKey does have to kind of collect data on you because it tries to predict what you're going to type and all that. So, I think your best bet is just to use what comes with it. So that would be my recommendation. And I think Apple they support third-party keyboards.
Yes, they do.
There's probably a little more vetting on those, but I don't use them. So
yeah, I'm not a big third party. I mean, if you want one.
Oh yeah, I mean, this it's kind of that you got to let the buyer beware type of thing.
I think you might be better off by paying money for one.
Yeah,
if you get one. They said on here that they believe that let's see at the top that people that did not pay for the app but used the free side, they're thinking that they may have had more data leaked than those.
So this was a paid keyboard?
Well, you could pay for it.
And it still was a leaked.
Apparently.
Oh, Lord. Man.
According to this. More leaks. More breaches. Yeah. So.
And just think about it. What you type on a keyboard.
Yeah, I know.
Passwords.
Other
potentially identifiable information.
What they're saying, let's see. I thought they said here. Bless you.
Thank you. Sorry, I had sneezed. I tried to get off mic for that. So didn't want to sneeze in everybody's ear.
Da-da-da.
Da-da-da.
I don't see exactly what data they're. It doesn't. They may not. They're either not telling or.
Yeah.
Just says sensitive.
Yes. Anyway, let me share this real quick. We got like 3 minutes. This won't take all of 3 minutes, but this is something I found in the last few weeks too. So we talk about self-driving cars a lot on the show.
Yes.
Different companies doing self-driving cars. Well, Walmart is secretly testing self-driving floor scrubbers, signaling that more robots are coming. So if you've ever been in like a Walmart or another big box retailer late at night, or you may work in one late at night, that's when they can do a lot of the floor cleaning. Obviously, there's less people in the store, and so. But most of the time, this has always been done by somebody having to either do it by hand or in larger scales, they have machinery, but somebody's having to operate this machine. Well, Walmart, they've been quietly testing an autonomous floor scrubber during the overnight shifts in 5 store locations near the company's headquarters in Bentonville, Arkansas. A spokesperson for Walmart told Fox Business that the move, which was first reported by LinkedIn, is, quote, very small proof of concept pilot that we are running, end quote, and that the company still has a lot more to learn about the technology, quote, to learn about how this technology, quote, might work best in our different retail locations. The device is called Emma. So we got Emma running around the store, which was a creation of San Diego-based startup Brain Corporation, uses technology similar to self-driving cars, including extensive cameras, sensors, and algorithms, and LiDAR for navigational mapping. The only difference is Emma scrubs the floor.
Emma scrubs the floor.
And Walmart added that traditionally one of the maintenance workers is tasked with manually driving a ride-on scrubber, but now employees could be freed up to do other tasks.
There you go.
So it says also this was a quote here, the maintenance team is actually quite excited to work with new technology like this, as a Walmart spokesperson said, and they're still needed to monitor it in case something comes up. They're going to make the people that were having to run the scrubber stock the shelves or...
Well, it's possible.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Self-driving floor scrubbers coming to a big box retailer near you one day.
Just
maybe.
watch out. Don't let it run over you.
Yeah, don't let it run over you.
No kidding. No kidding.
And another thing real quick here, I don't have an article for this, but UPS is experiencing delays getting people their packages because this is one of the, this Cyber Monday and Black Friday.
Right.
They anticipate the business is going to increase. Their business is going to increase because of online shopping, but it is increased to such a level that they were not even prepared. So it's causing delays in their network getting packages to customers.
Wow.
I mean, they have to come out and publicly say, "Hey, yeah, we're behind. I'm sorry, but we're doing as fast as we can." So it's just crazy the world we're going to. It's just like everything's going online shopping, and
oh sure,
and I hate that for the mom and pops, and even the big box stores are suffering because of it.
Yeah. Well, we really appreciate you hanging in here with us tonight, especially given my frog voice. So
it sounds fantastic.
This will be one for the annals of the recorded history of the Hey Techies show. I'm hoping that I sound better the next time we were able to go on the air, hopefully next week. So
you will.
But anyway, we'll see, and we'll just keep after it. We appreciate all of you, and thank you for listening. We're sorry we've been off the air, but we hope to be working at maybe an announcement coming before the end of the year about what we're going to do for the future of the Hey Techies show. But anyway, well, thank you so much from all of us to all of you. Have a fabulous weekend.